Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today we're going to talk getting started with Warhammer 40,000 boarding actions, a brand new way to play Warhammer 40k, coming with the Arcs of Omen campaign supplements. Now in this video we're going to take a look at the Adeptus Mechanicus. We're going to talk about how you muster a boarding patrol that's special for the Adeptus Mechanicus, because every army has its own little special rules for this, and then rules adaptations for the army in general. We'll then look at a couple of units we recommend to get started with for the faction before looking at some other units we can use to expand upon those initial purchases. We're then finally finishing off the video with a sample 500 point army list, a standard size game for a boarding action for you to use as some inspiration hopefully for starting your own boarding patrol army in Warhammer 40k for the Adeptus Mechanicus. And so, with that said, mustering a boarding patrol for the Adeptus Mechanicus. All Forge World models, units in your boarding patrol must be from the same Forge World, so standard sort of match play rule there. You can include one and no more than one unit of Cataphron breaches, and the same rule applies to Cataphron destroyers. These do have, the bike keywords and stuff like that, so normally you wouldn't be able to take them, but you can include one of each. You can't, however, include any cybernetic or data smiths in your force. Now, rules adaptation-wise, the Doctrinus Imperative ability only applies if your Warlord is a Skitarii Marshal, and the Canticles of the Omnissiah only applies if your Warlord is a Tech Priest or has the Masters of the Forge dogma. This sort of, reflecting of like maybe two separate parts of the army are working in different parts. On top of this as well, when an enemy model makes a ranged attack at a unit with a Shroud's Protocol dogma, the unit is treated as having the benefits of cover against that attack if the attacking model is more than 6 inches away. And so, to get started with, first of all, I think the Tech Priest Dominus is a great place to start. He's got a variety of different shooting weapon options, from his Macro Stubber, which is a nice pistol, great for close quarters confine, but he does have some higher strength weapon for dealing with those heavier things that are going to be walking around the corridors, as well with the Eradication Ray. Both of these blast weapons as well, so great for hitting things like Terminators or indeed even Gravis Armor Space Marines. He carries an Omnissiah axe as well, so he's got +2 strength, -2 AP, damage 2 in melee there. And, he's got a couple of nice rules. So his Lord of the Machine Cult, while the friendly Forge World core units within 6 inch, they can reroll a hit roll of 1. And at the end of your movement phase, this model can repair a friendly Forge World model within 3 inch of it. That model regains up to D3 lost wounds. Each model can only be repaired once per turn, so this is pretty cool. He can repair stuff and give you a little bit of healing there as well. I think for me, he's the one I like. I like his Lord of the Machine Cult ability. I like that he's got a lot of versatility. He's pretty survival, toughness 4, 5 wounds, 3 attacks in there with that axe, which is pretty cool. I think for me, he's the Tech Priest I would be going with. Now, to look at a unit to bring alongside him, I actually really like Skitarii Vanguard. Now, first of all, they've got decent shooting, like all Skitarii and like all AdMech. You're pretty decent at shooting. With your radium blasters, radium carbines there, which, don't really work against vehicles, and there's not going to be vehicles showing up in this. So, Assault 3, Strength 3, Damage 1, but each time an attack is made with this weapon against an enemy unit and a modified hit roll of 6, automatically wounds the target. It doesn't work on vehicles, but, there's no vehicles in boarding actions. But then you've also got the cool ability I really like is Rad Saturation, where while an enemy unit, excluding vehicles, so who cares, is within engagement range of this unit, subtract 1 from the strength and toughness characteristic of models in that enemy unit. It's going to be really good at holding down enemies in a corridor if you get caught into close combat. Now, if we're looking at where else to go, I think Electro Priests for me are a really interesting thing to bring in. There's 2 types, and the first of these is the Fulgri Electro Priests, the ones with the 2-handed weapons there. Now, they have a 5-up invulnerable save, great for any high-powered weaponry. Their Electro Staves are +2 strength, -2 AP, damage 2, and each time an attack is made, a modified wound roll of a 6 inflicts 2 mortal wounds on the enemy target in melee, so nice. They've got, they're a melee fighting unit, they've got no ranged weapons coming out of them. This is just a nice solid unit to have fighting in the corridors. They have a Feel No Pain roll of a 5+, the Voltigast Blast as well. After they finish a charge, they can potentially do some mortal wounds. And the Siphon Vigor, when this unit destroys an enemy unit for the first time, you add 1 to the rolls made for its Voltigast ability, and they get a 4-up invuln, so they get better as they do stuff on the table. The other version of Electro Priest is called the Corpuscari Electro Priest. Now, these ones do have a shooting attack, which is Assault 3, Strength 5, -1 AP, Damage 1, and each time an attack is made, a modified 6 scores 2 additional hits, so they can actually get quite a bit of shooting coming out of them. Their Electro Gauntlets are +2 Strength, -1 AP, Damage 1, and have the same rule in melee. They've got the Voltigast Blast there, they've got Fanatical Devotion and the Voltigast Field as well, all the same as the previous. But they also have the Motive Foresight as well, where each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack, you can ignore any and all ballistical modifiers and hit roll modifiers as well. This is really cool because cover definitely becomes a big thing in boarding actions, so being able to ignore any sort of benefits of cover that put minuses to hit on you is really nice. Now, Cataphrons, there you can take both units, but for me, I think it is the Cataphron Destroyers that make the most use, and really you're going to get the most use out of in a boarding action. They can take Cosmos Flamers, which are cool. Assault D6 plus 2, Strength 4, no AP damage 1 Flamers. You've got the option for the Plasma Culverins, which are blast weapons as well. I really dig these. High-powered, high-strength blast weaponry. Phosphor Blasters and Heavy Grav Cannons are options for these as well. They're nice and tough, toughness 5. They've got 6 up invulnerable save on as well. A solid unit all round. The last unit to talk about is Servitors. If you include a Tech Priest, which was suggested in this video, you can take 1 unit of Servitors for a Tech Priest. That's the only way you can include Servitors within your force. And the real reason here is Servitors can provide you with a nice little bit of heavy weapon options like heavy bolters, multi-melters, and plasma cannons for a decently cheap option. I particularly like, the fact that plasma cannons are blast. Multi-melters still will come in handy. There will be, some high-value targets that maybe a multi-melter wants to take the shot at and do some damage to. But also heavy bolters could just be really good at going down the corridors. They also have servo worms in melee, so they actually do have high strength in melee. While they're not the best fighters with weapon skill 5+, they can do a job for you. And so this is our sample army list for the boarding action for the Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, the Forge World we've chosen to go here is going to be the Forge World of Riser. Now, you do still get your sub-factions. This is one of the few things you get to keep in our boarding action rules. For me, the reason I like Riser is it really does have a close quarter sort of focus on it. So each time a model with this dogma makes a melee attack, if it made a charge move, was charged, or performed heroic intervention, you get to add 1 to your wound rolls. Nice. And you add 1 to your charge rolls as well for the units with these dogmas. So straight away, a couple of really good abilities that are going to apply to a bunch of units across your army. Now, our Tech Priest Dominus is going to be our HQ choice, and he's going to be our Warlord. And we've gone the Boarding Action Enhancement Defensive Linchpin. I think combining him with those Skitarii Vanguards we've got in the list, allowing him to give the Hold Steady rule to friendly units within 6 inch. What this does, Hold Steady, is allows your Overwatchers to work on 5+, and how Overwatch works in boarding actions, being able to, if an enemy ends its movement inside of you, not just when it ends within charge range, you get to shoot them. So it can be a really good little combination. Really, it's up to you with the changes in points now. The fact that all these weapons come for free, you can choose sort of the weapons you want to take. But then, troops-wise, we've got that Skitarii Vanguard unit fully upgraded, and then the big thing we've got on them is going to be the fact we've given them the Omnispecs, which stops the light cover. Once again, cover is such a big thing in boarding actions. Being able to stop it in some way is cool. And then Cataphron Destroyers in there with Cognis Flamers and Plasma Culverins, all the blast and flame weapons we can get. Elites wise, it doesn't really matter what you put these in, but really take your pick. I've got 10 Corpuscaria Electro Priests. You could easily make them 2 squads of 5. They'll split down into combat squads anyway, but a unit of 5 Fulgurites as well. Really, they're all the same cost now, so up to you on how you want to run them. But I really like the AdMech. I think you've got a lot to play with. I like Skitarii Vanguard and how they're sort of minuses to wound and toughness and all that is really cool. So let us know your favourite stuff to use in a boarding action for the Adeptus Mechanicus. What are you planning on using? Love to hear from everyone down in the comments below. And so that is the end of the video. We hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here at Sinful Gaming, we have a Discord server which is linked down in the video's description. Also, down in the video's description are the best ways to help support the channel via Patreon and YouTube members, or by grabbing some merch from either Ko-fi or Teespring. All of these are the best ways to help support the channel, and it means the world to us that people do choose to help support us. Now, as a special thank you to everyone who supports the channel via Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out. So thank you to our Patreons, Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lowe, Outer and Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Swallows, Red Martin, Kevin Bowman, Iron Grinch, and Nuffs. And to our YouTube members, Green Roots Gaming, Ronya Lochloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, James South, Dave Crozier, Dylan Areno, and James Tillman. And lastly, a special thank you to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork for the channel. You can see here, and indeed pick up the stickers of the amazing artwork, or the amazing artwork on our merch as well if you want to. But thank you once again, everyone, and a special thanks as well to everyone who helps support the channel, and to all those who come and help with the channel, be the people that come and do battle reports, or indeed those that are managing our Discord server. Thank you all once again, everyone. Stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the grey. Ciao for now.